Hello, I'm Rahul, and today I'm going to talk about a very simple method that will help you in dealing with the small stressful situations in your life. Most of the times it's not some great traumatic event that breaks us down. It's just these small little doses of stresses over a longer period of time that breaks us down. So we really need to look at these small stressful situations in our life much more carefully. Right now we overlook their danger. Just the other day I was reading about a tree. It was a giant tree, an ancient one. It survived for 400 long years. And during its lifetime, it survived lightning, it survived countless thunderstorms, it survived heat, cold, and all the harsh environment. But at the end of it was taken down by a small army of beetles. The beetles got to the root, they got to the bark of the tree, and they weakened the tree. And this is exactly how the small stressful situations in our life work. They are like beetles. And big traumatic events are like lightning, thunderstorm. So most of us actually survive the lightning and thunderstorm, but we give up to the beetles. Now let's try to understand how stress acts like an army of beetles in our daily life. Let's take a hypothetical day of a modern human being. Most of us, when we wake up in the morning, the first thing we do is check our notifications. We check our emails. And sometimes there will be these alarming notifications that we have a due date for the credit card payment, that we have to pay our rent, that we have some deadlines at work. Now these are the things that we don't even perceive as stress, but unconsciously we are alarmed by them. Now let's say that while getting ready, this is the most obvious thing in all homes. We have these arguments for no reason, that I am getting late, where is my lunch, where is this or that. It is another dose of stress. While commuting, if you are stuck in a traffic jam, it is another dose of stress. While at work, suddenly realizing that you have a lot to do today and you cannot hang out with your friends in the evening, it is another dose of stress. During the break, if you're checking your social media and you find that some of your friends are doing really well in their life, they are traveling, they are working at great places where you would want to work, it is another dose of stress. And gradually these micro doses of stress accumulate and they break us down. These micro doses of stress create an internal story in us. We frame how things are happening in our life, and most of the times we frame a very negative picture. You'll just say to yourself that my life sucks, that why does it happen to me all the time? Why can't I afford the things that I actually need? Why don't my parents or my friends don't understand me at all? And once this story is created, that is when the real danger arises, because now your brain will gather evidence to prove that your story is true. Now your brain will start comparing your job with the people who are in a better position, and you will feel that you suck at your work. Now you will start comparing yourself with the people who are more privileged financially, and you will just tell yourself, you'll just prove to yourself that I can't afford the things that I need. There must be something wrong with me. And when this thing happens, we start living in a perpetual stressful state. And stress is something that kills us. It just destroys our roots from within. Today there is ample evidence in the medical science that it is stress that gives us plethora of diseases. Now in this way, stress acts like an army of beetles. It just destroys us from within. And if we are not going to do anything about it, sooner or later we will just fall down like that giant tree. Now just by reframing the story that we tell ourselves, we can eliminate the stress from our lives. We can actually protect ourselves against an army of beetles. Now how to reframe? The first thing to realize is that whether you know it or not, you are always framing a story. When you say that my life sucks, when you say that why does it happen to me, it is a story that your brain has built. Though it is happening unconsciously, but framing is happening. Now put a little awareness into this framing, and then you get the liberty to reframe this story. Then there is freedom to tell whatever story you want to tell yourself. For example, if you think that your job sucks, you don't like the boss, you don't like the work environment, just change this story into something positive. Just tell yourself that I'm really lucky to have this job. Why? Because if today I'm going to resign, there will be a lot of unemployed people who will be willing to take up this job happily. This is how lucky I am. Through this job, I pay my bills. Through this job, I have my food and shelter. So I should be more grateful towards this job. The moment you're going to say this thing to yourself, your stress will start dissolving. Gradually, it will cease to be. Because now there is no unconscious story running in your head that your life sucks. The unconscious story has changed. Now the unconscious story is that I am really grateful to have this job. And mind you, I don't mean that you should become fatalistic. I don't mean that you should accept each and everything in your life. If there is a need to change the job because the work environment is not good, change it. But never approach this change from an unpleasant state of being. When you're stressful, when you're unpleasant, your emotional brain is at work. And emotion is something which clouds you. Emotion takes your capacity to think clearly. You're just acting like a fool. So first get into a pleasant state of being. Once you are in a pleasant state of being, then you can use the capacity to reason well. Then you can think clearly. Then take all the decisions. Lastly, I'm just reminded of an exceptional example of reframing. Somewhere I read a story of a soldier. During the Second World War, he was stuck in his bunker alone for 24 hours. Outside there was constant explosion, there was constant firing, and he was trembling from within. During those 24 hours, he said that he relived his life again and again. He realized that he wasted years of his time worrying about the things that don't matter at all. He worried about that he didn't earn enough. He worried about that he did not have a big house. He worried about an injury mark that was left on his face. He worried about what his wife is thinking, what his neighbors are thinking, what his friends are thinking. So during that moment, he decided that if I'm ever going to get out of this bunker alive, never ever in my life I will worry for anything. So this is how you reframe a story. You don't need to be stuck in a life-threatening situation to reframe your story. Reframing the story is your freedom. If right in this moment you can decide that till the time I am alive, I need not complain about anything else. I need not worry about anything else. Your mind will start reacting like that. You will have all kind of troubles that you're having in your life right now, but the perception will be totally different. You will be unperturbed by those problems. So I hope that you have clearly understood how by using this simple technique of reframing the story, you can actually transform your life. And I hope you're going to do it. And I wish you all the best for that.